Dear sisters, brothers, and beloved soulmates, I am Ramon Krishna Vadapalli, the owner of this channel, dedicated to promoting a moral and spiritual society worldwide. Our main objective is to share the epic story of the Mahabharata, which serves as a rich collection of spiritual and moral teachings. This includes the Bhagavad Gita, a profound source of enlightenment for all humanity. I kindly ask all viewers to subscribe, like, and share this channel to support our mission. The Mahabharata comprises a total of 589 stories, each contributing to our understanding of life and spirituality. Please subscribe and share and support me for more likewise. Thank you. Yours, Vadapalli Ramon Krishna, ancient yoga trainer. The Pandavas decide to marry Draupadi. First, Yudhishthira and Sahadeva reached the house, followed by Bhima and Arjuna, who brought Draupadi with them. Both Bhima and Arjuna bowed to their mother, Kunti, and said, "Mother, we have brought alms." Without seeing what it was, Kunti responded, "Share it equally among the 5 of you, Nayana." Upon hearing her words, everyone was stunned and unsure of what to do. Yudhishthira then thoughtfully addressed the situation and said, "Arjuna, you have won this woman with your extraordinary valor. Therefore, it is rightful for you to marry her." However, Arjuna did not accept this. He said, "Brother, how can I marry her alone? At the time of winning this woman, there was a fierce battle with the kings, and not just me, even Bhima fought alongside me. Moreover, I did not break the machine out of my own will but on your command. Therefore, it is you who should marry her." However, at that very moment, by divine influence, Draupadi seemed to stir the hearts of all 5 brothers. Each of the 5 looked at her simultaneously, and she, in turn, reconciled their 10 eyes with just her 2. Dharmaraja thought deeply and recalled what sage Vyasa had once foretold. Realizing the divine will behind it, he declared, "Let all 5 of us marry Draupadi." Just then, Sri Krishna and Balarama arrived. They introduced themselves by their clan names and paid homage to Dharmaraja and Kunti. Kunti felt that setting foot in Krishna's house and seeing Krishna himself was a great blessing. Krishna and Balarama spent some time conversing affectionately with their newfound brothers-in-law and then took their leave. As soon as they departed, Drishtadyumna, who had been sent by Drupada to observe the mysterious warriors, arrived at the area in secret. He carefully observed their lives and reported back to his father. "Father," he said, "they live on alms, so they appear to be Brahmins. But all their talk is about warfare and strategy. They speak of nothing but battle. Our Krishna accepted only alms and slept on the hard ground behind them. There were 5 young warriors and an elderly woman with them." Hearing this, Drupada was convinced. The very next day, accompanied by chariots and attendants from all 4 castes, he personally went to invite the Pandavas to the royal palace. The Pandavas revealing their identity to Drupada. The next day, Drishtadyumna arrived with his royal entourage and formally invited the Pandavas to the palace. The Pandavas ascended Kshatriya chariots, and in a separate chariot, they made their mother Kunti and Draupadi ride. Upon reaching the palace and seeing the Pandavas alight from Kshatriya chariots, Drupada welcomed them with great joy. The king of Panchala honored them with many valuable gifts. The Pandavas accepted only the gifts suited for Kshatriyas and did not even glance at the rest. Their food and drink habits, too, reflected their Kshatriya nature. Observing all this, Drupada suspected their true identity but wanted to be sure. Humbly, he asked Yudhishthira about it. Yudhishthira smiled and said, "Do you still not understand, O king? Your wish has been fulfilled. The one who struck the fish target was Maghavasuta, Arjuna. The one who helped him in battle against the kings was Samiri, Bhima. These 2 valiant youths are sons of Madri, and the elderly woman you saw with them is our mother, Kunti. All 4 of them are my younger brothers." Drupada was overwhelmed with joy and experienced a divine bliss. Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira, then narrated the entire sequence of events, from their escape from the Lakshagraha, the house of Lak, to their arrival at Draupadi's Swayamvara. Drupada was so pleased that he began singing songs in celebration of Draupadi's marriage. Yudhishthira then declared, "All 5 of us will marry Draupadi." Hearing this, many of the royal relatives of the Panchala family murmured in doubt and disapproval. They questioned whether such a practice as marrying one woman to 5 men was even acceptable. Was there any precedent for such polygamy? At that very moment, Sage Krishnadvipayana Vyasa arrived at the scene. After hearing their concerns and questions, he began to explain and address the issue. Panchendropakyanam. There was once a great sage named Maudgalya, whose wife, Indrasena, was exceptionally beautiful, youthful, and radiant like a lotus. Despite her physical allure, she was unmatched in her devotion to her husband. Unfortunately, Maudgalya was afflicted with severe leprosy that had made him terrifying to look at. Yet Indrasena, unwavering in her dharma, continued to serve him with utmost devotion, even vowing to eat only after her husband had eaten. One day, while Maudgalya was eating, his diseased thumb fell into the food. Indrasena, undisturbed, merely set it aside and consumed the leftovers. Pleased by her devotion, Maudgalya offered her a boon. Indrasena expressed her desire, saying, "Swami, my 5 senses burn with desire. Please transform into 5 young men and satisfy my longing. That is my only wish." Using his spiritual powers, Maudgalya transformed into 5 handsome youths and lived with her for a long time. Eventually, without even looking back at her, he resumed his ascetic life. Indrasena, consumed by insatiable desire, passed away in grief and longing. In her next birth, she was born as the daughter of the king of Kashi. Still overcome by dual emotions and intense desire, she remained a virgin. Frustrated, she devoted herself to severe penance for Lord Shiva. Pleased by her austerity, Shiva appeared before her. As she approached him in deep emotion, she cried out 5 times in one breath, "Patindehi! Patindehi! 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 Grant me a husband." Interpreting her plea literally, Shiva declared, "So be it. In your next birth, you shall have 5 husbands." The princess was surprised and clarified, "Oh Lord! I only asked once, though it echoed 5 times. I wished for 1 husband, not 5. But if that is your will, then please grant me special blessings, fulfillment of desires, eternal virginity, and bliss with each of my husbands." Shiva agreed and added, "Go now, and bring her to Indra." At that time, the princess of Kashi sat sorrowfully in the sky. Indra came to see her and inquired about her grief. She promised to tell him only if he followed her. He did, and they came upon a young man playing dice with his beloved. Though Indra did not recognize the young man as Shiva, he respectfully stepped aside. Angered by the arrogance in Indra's gaze, Shiva wished to humble him. He commanded Indra to remove the snow-capped peak nearby. As soon as he did, 4 other Indras, identical to him, appeared behind it. Shiva then said, "Indra, you and these 4 will now be born as humans on earth." Startled, Panchendropakyanam. There was once a great sage named Maudgalya, whose wife, Indrasena, was exceptionally beautiful, youthful, and radiant like a lotus. Despite her physical allure, she was unmatched in her devotion to her husband. Unfortunately, Maudgalya was afflicted with severe leprosy that had made him terrifying to look at. The goddess of heaven, Lakshmi, was born as Draupadi, the daughter of King Drupada. Sage Vyasa concluded the story and addressed Drupada, "Therefore, O king, set aside all doubts and perform Draupadi's marriage to the Pandavas." Drupada, now full of faith and joy, conducted the wedding with grandeur fit for the king of gods. First, Yudhishthira married Draupadi, followed by Bhima, then Arjuna, then Nakula, and finally Sahadeva. Thereafter, the Pandavas and Draupadi remained in that kingdom for a year. Dhritarashtra brings the Pandavas to Hastina. The Kauravas, led by Duryodhana, were deeply distressed upon learning everything that had transpired through their spies. The Pandavas, whom they had presumed perished in the fire at the house of Lak, had not only survived, but also emerged stronger. Their own men had perished in the incident, and now, facing such a formidable and righteous lineage seemed increasingly impossible. Duryodhana and his allies deliberated on various ways to suppress the Pandavas and ultimately decided to launch an attack on Panchala and kill them all at once. To this end, Duryodhana approached Dhritarashtra for permission to wage war. In a private moment, Dhritarashtra expressed his own deep concern about the growing strength of the Pandavas. He admitted he shared the same anxiety as Duryodhana but, being the elder, had remained restrained in his speech, while Duryodhana's youthful haste made him appear reckless. Although he agreed that war seemed like a viable solution, he suggested consulting the elders before taking any drastic step. A council was convened with Bhishma, Drona, and other senior advisors. After thoughtful discussion, they advised that a war would not be wise. Instead, it would be more prudent and just to give the Pandavas half of the kingdom, thereby avoiding conflict. Bhishma, Balika, Kripa, Drona, and Vidura all stood by this suggestion. Though Duryodhana was reluctant, Dhritarashtra, bound by the respect he held for these elders and their wisdom, agreed with a forced smile. Accepting their advice, he sent Vidura to Panchala, bearing valuable gifts and an invitation for the Pandavas to return to Hastinapura. Vidura arrived and delivered Dhritarashtra's message. Yudhishthira, filled with joy at the prospect of peace and recognition, accepted the invitation. As a sign of honor and reconciliation, Dhritarashtra himself carried Draupadi on his royal palanquin when the Pandavas arrived. Yudhishthira is crowned at Khandavaprastha. The Pandavas received a grand and respectful welcome upon their arrival in Hastinapur. Dhritarashtra warmly embraced Yudhishthira, the embodiment of Dharma, and affectionately expressed his concern. "My dear hero, if there was any danger at the house of Lak, you should have come straight to Hastinapur. Why did you roam around the forest like that?" he said, gently patting him on the back. At an auspicious time, the Pandavas were officially admitted into the royal palace of King Pandu. Later, as Bhishma's wise counsel echoed in his mind, Dhritarashtra, unable to resist the subtle temptation, called Yudhishthira aside and spoke to him kindly. "My dear, Khandavaprastha has long been the capital of our Kaurava lineage. Though once glorious, it has fallen into ruin over time, and our people moved to Hastinapur. You are a follower of Sanatana Dharma. Therefore, take half the kingdom and restore the lost splendor of Khandavaprastha. Make it your capital. Those who are loyal to you will accompany you. What do you say?" To this, Yudhishthira humbly responded, "Why do you say this, O elder? Did we ever ask for half the kingdom? You are the elder. How can we refuse what you say?" Vidura, standing nearby, was moved by Yudhishthira's humility and thought to himself with affection, "My dear." Soon, all the great kings and nobles arrived to support this transition: Drupada, Krishna, Drishtadyumna, Balika, and others. Holy water from the Ganges was brought in ceremonially on 1008 elephants. In the presence of many revered elders, the great sage Vyasa came and anointed Yudhishthira as the king of Khandavaprastha. At an auspicious moment, the Pandavas set out to establish their new capital at Khandava.